Okay, 2013 Escape 4x4, or all-wheel drive as it's better known. 2013 to 2019, this is a rear drive unit out of a 2013 with the bearings that failed on it, in my opinion, prematurely. We're going to make this serviceable. Ford says this is not serviceable, and I agree with him because there's no drain plug on it. But I put one on right here. Okay, so this will help you guys out there who want to service your diffs. Keep in mind, 100% foolproof way of doing this is removing the diff, pulling the cover off, and drilling a hole for a plug. This is I use the 1/8 tap here, and a pipe plug readily available at any plumbing supply store. Loctite this when it goes back in. But I want to go over on how to fill this thing and how to check how much fluid you have in there. So in the vehicle, which is really tough to get at this plug here at the top, the frame is in the way, it interferes. You're not going to have any room with any conventional means, except for if you have a serpentine belt tool with a 3/8 attachment on it. You can get in it, no problem. It's long enough. It'll deliver enough torque so that you can crack it open a couple of attempts, and then pull it back and exchange the 3/8 bit and put it on a swivel ratcheting wrench like this to help you remove the plug. Okay, in the vehicle this is really tight. You may need somebody to pry with a pry bar here forward a little bit and gently. There's a little bit of give there. There's actually quite a bit of give there because the mounts are rubber, and it'll move. If you're by yourself, get yourself a wedge. I have this wedge right here that I use, but you can make one out of wood. Wood is probably better because it'll bite into the frame a little bit and keep it there. This plastic one slips out a couple of times, but I managed to get it. But this helps create a little clearance so you can get your tools in there and remove the top plug. Now, when you're topping this up, okay, you top it up from the cover, and you're going down to this plug over here, which is another task to remove this plug. This is the rear diff fill level plug. This is a plug that you remove to actually see how much fluid you have in there. When fluid starts dripping out of this plug, then you have enough fluid in this differential. Okay, so getting that out is a task. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. That's the 1/8 tap. What I use is a Torq 40. Okay, in there, Torq 40. You are going to have issues with the frame interfering again. This socket will not fit there. It will not go in. There's not enough room. You're going to have to remove your bit. Sorry about the movement here, guys. You're going to have to remove your bit and put it on a 1/4-inch wrench with a lot of leverage. This one here, and then transfer it over, break it free, transfer it over to a ratcheting style wrench. And these are pretty sleek. You got lots of room in there, and they'll fit in there perfectly. You might want to tape it on there a little bit just so it holds, but this is a two-hander for sure. And unfortunately you can't do anything with prying or anything, because you can't go side to side. So you can pry front to rear, but not side to side. So filling this up, make sure that fluid is dripping here, okay, when you're filling over here. All right, so again, 1/8 tap. Here are the measurements. You can do this in the vehicle from the center of the bottom diff cover bolt right there. Come over 1 inch, mark it, and then go up 1.5 inch from that point and center punch it, and drill your hole with an 11/32 drill bit. Okay, tape it to a depth of about 5/16, no more than that. You don't want to go all the way through. You're not going to really hurt anything all the way through, because if you go all the way through, you're going to run into the carrier. But if you go near the X here, you're going to contact the crown. So it's not going to kill it, but stay away from it. Okay, while you're drilling, remember you're going to be drilling upwards, Get a rag ready. It's going to get all over your wrist and your armpits if you don't have a hoist, if you're on your back. So be ready for the fluid to come out. Once the fluid starts to seep out, slow down the drill a little bit. Okay. Good idea to have a pan ready and maybe wrap a rag around your wrist so you don't get it all over yourself. But this will help you out in the future. Now this unit, I mean, let's face it, guys. The best way is to get this thing out and do it on the bench. And I've removed this cover, so I can pinpoint exactly where I want to drill. I pulled the cover off and did it that way. And ideally, if you're replacing it with a new unit, that's what you want to do. Pull the cover off of the new unit also, and just keep in mind that the different size bolts you have here. Okay, the bigger bolts are basically the differential cap, the carrier bolts, the cap bolts, right? So you're going to have Torq specs for that. I'm sorry, I don't know them offhand right now. I don't have the manual in front of me, but consult the manual. But this is an integral style diff cover. The caps are cast into the cover, so you're going to have to basically have it like this on the bench to do that. Clean it up, put new silicone on it, and put your new plug in it. Okay, and then this makes this serviceable. Like I said, you can try this in the vehicle too. I'm sure some of you are going to do it. I've certainly tried it, and I love it. It's not as risky as everybody thinking right now. Like, oh my God, why is this guy drilling a hole here? But you know what? The oil that's going to be rushing out of there is going to help flush out some of the filings that are created. But then again, you got to be real careful when you're getting ready to break through the case with the drill. Slow it down as soon as you see oil coming through, and just drill it a little bit of time. Slow the drill down when you feel like it's ready to break through. So when the drill bit finally gets in there, it won't centrifugally, throw the bits further into the diff. But again, it's on a slight tilt. The front, the snout of the pinion is slightly raised, so they shouldn't go too far, but, the oil should help flush that out. So this is I guess a 90%, a 90% chance that you're not going to get the filings all over the place. There's not too much there. But like I said, ideally you could remove it. That's the best way. And that's the way Ford says to do it too. Not to drill a hole, of course, because they think this is unserviceable. But if you really want to get all the fluid out of the diff, you're going to have to pull it out and turn it upside down. I've seen guys using straws and stuff like that to draw the fluid out. That's not 100%. I got a little, this is off of a CD4E transmission cooler pump. This actually goes to the back of the pump of the CD4E. It's got a special bend on it. I've modified this. You can install the fluid without cutting out any exhaust or doing anything really intrusive. So you can attach this to your siphon gun. I mean, not to siphon it, of course, but you can also use the traditional siphon to install the fluid through this tube, and a pretty decent. And this will work with the frame in the way too. You just got to play around with it and get it in. It's the best way. Sucking it out with pumps and apparatuses that are out there. I've got those too. It doesn't work. There's no room for the hose to twist and contort and to get to the spot where you want to get it all. You don't get all the oil. This is the best way to do it. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Again, remember, you must have oil in the diff to if you're going to drill this hole in the vehicle. Make sure you see the oil dripping out of here. Right, if this gets seized, then and it does from time to time. You're gonna have to get creative, and if you got a MIG torch, you got just enough room to sneak the nozzle in there to weld a nut to it. But if you don't, the best way is just to overfill it at the diff plug here at the installation area here, and then you'll have enough fluid to help flush out when you finally break through with the drill bit. So yeah, if you like it, great. If you don't, then I can't do anything about that. This is just to help you guys out there that are trying to save some money. Again, the right way to do it is to pull it out and do it that way and get the cover off. But you can want to take a chance and drill it in the chassis. There's plenty of room for it. and go for it. And hopefully it saves you guys a pile of money. Okay, have a great day.